Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about Doordash driver accused of threatening to pew Milwaukee restaurant owner over order confirmation. So one of the most frustrating things about restaurants, in my opinion, is sometimes that they will kind of force you to confirm that you have the order before handing you the order, or in some cases, finishing the order. Like the amount of times they've asked me to confirm the order, that they've handed me the order before I even leave the place, before I even get handed the order, in some cases before they even finish the order, or my personal favorite, claim they finished the order and then and because of their gross negligence, you're at fault. Now we have a restaurant that apparently got threatened over that one concept. Now, I did review a few of the things that were said prior to this, and I'm not sure if that's actually the case. And I am interested in your guys' take on this. So with that said, we are talking about everything that's being said in this article and in this video. What they're saying, what the news is saying versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain, is never intended to be, legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market to market and case by case. What applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. A Doordash driver is accused of threatening to shoot a Milwaukee restaurant owner after being asked to confirm an order, according to a search warrant and surveillance video obtained by TMJ4 News. Adham Awaldallah, the owner of the Mega Witch sandwich shop on Brady Street, said the incident occurred on August 16th when a delivery driver became hostile over the restaurant's policy requiring drivers to confirm orders on the app before taking the food. Because that's not how the system works. You're violating the contract that way. Like, yeah, sure, making sure that the order is confirmed before they leave is one thing, but you're asking them to break contract, start the clock sooner for your gross negligence. And then you wonder why there's such a rift between restaurants and drivers. Like, stop asking us to compromise our integrity because you pretend there's an issue with that. If the driver is gonna steal the food, nothing is going to change that. Imagine this is a dasher coming to pick up an order and threatening us that he is going to unalive us while we're trying to do our job, Awadallah said. Okay, so it definitely shouldn't have ended up to that point, and I agree that is a huge issue, that drivers should not take it to that level, but stop asking us to violate the contract. By the way, if that is accurate, don't take that out of context. I have my opinions on the footage and all of that, and I will share that later. But if it is true, the driver is 100% wrong and should be held accountable. If it's not true, and I'll explain why I think that's the case later in the video, that's a huge issue in itself, and the restaurant should be held accountable. The confrontation escalated when the driver allegedly made a direct threat, according to Awadallah. The guy said, "I'm going to come back and I'm going to pop you guys," Awadallah said. Okay, popping somebody as in a gun or punch you in the face, I mean, either way, that's different context, but obviously violence of any nature is not good violence and obviously should be treated differently. But I feel like he made the story sound a lot worse for the purposes of getting this on the news. And quite frankly, that's sad if that's the case. The restaurant relies heavily on delivery orders. Mega Witch depends on DoorDash orders for approximately half its sales, serving primarily students and young people in the area, Awadallah said. The restaurant's policy requires all delivery drivers to confirm orders through the app before pickup. He took it personally as if we didn't trust him. It has nothing to do with him, Awadallah said. Oh, it has nothing to do with him. It's a lack of trust for delivery drivers as a whole and the overall discrimination on the subject, but it has nothing to do with us. Got it. I see what the problem is. Maybe if your restaurant relies so heavily on delivery orders, you shouldn't be discriminating against the people that are helping you so much. Surveillance video from the restaurant captured the encounter, though it lacks audio. The footage shows what employees described as a heated argument through hand gestures before the driver left the premises. So let me get this straight. There is no audio. The only thing you can see is that a driver is trying to explain through hand gestures how the system works, and you took a restaurant's word at face value? Are you stupid? Were you dropped on your head as a child? Is that how media works? I could just say something no matter what, and clearly with no evidence, no real evidence to back that up, it's justifiable in the eyes of Milwaukee News? Are you kidding me? Imagine how many false allegations come out of this media center. Like, seriously. Police investigation underway. Milwaukee police filed a search warrant with Doordash to identify the driver, whose account is only listed as an initial for his last name rather than his full identity. The driver has not been charged with a crime, which is why TMJ4 blurred his face in the surveillance footage. The search warrant says Milwaukee police are actively investigating the case as disorderly conduct. MPD says charges have not yet been referred to the district attorney's office. So clearly this is a nonsense crime. The cops know that he's just trying to make a scene and we're adding fuel to that fire. What? Like, I get why it seems shady. Like, he only has an initial for a last name. That's how DoorDash operates. They are protecting our privacy. If they're going to reach out to DoorDash, they'll give it to him. But at the same time, the reason why his face is blurred out is because there was no crime committed. Did he come back? No. If he did, you wouldn't be there. Does that justify any of the actions if they are actually happening? No. But again, I can't tell if it actually is. All we got is this hand gesture. That's it. Like, I love how people claim that emotion invalidates factual points. Like, suddenly you are feeling some kind of emotion towards it. So obviously the facts aren't the facts. Like, they have to be unemotional. Like, what kind of low functioning take is that? And who's the low functioning person who made that a thing? Company response to the incident. DoorDash provided a statement to DMJ4 News saying the company has zero tolerance for violence of any kind and is urgently investigating. Abdallah is calling for DoorDash to strengthen its hiring practices and policies following the incident. They need to do a better job qualifying their workers. They need to do a better job filtering their system from people like that. Abdallah said, "My main concern here is that this is a family business. My daughter works here. This has to stop," Abdallah said. A way to make it about something that it probably isn't, and trying to add fuel to the fire just to get the point across, and not because it was actually the case. Like, I guarantee to a certain degree that this didn't happen. Because I'll tell you exactly how a restaurant would do this if they were to take this to this degree. They tried reporting it to DoorDash. DoorDash wouldn't do anything. Or they tried to do this in the past and they wouldn't do anything. The driver got frustrated with how completely dense the restaurant actually chose to be about it. He got frustrated. He finally got the food because it was clear that he walked out with the order. They claim to have called the police about it after the case was had, and then because he's such a narcissist, he started such a smear campaign on the subject to make this driver look bad, not because he actually did anything that was bad. There was no audio. The guy was 100% right. You know what else it could have been? The driver could have reported them to DoorDash. They got some kind of merit for that. And then later on, he went to the news and cried victim. I am so sick and tired of restaurant owners that are like this. And I've seen it too many times. Honestly, this is hitting a nerve for me as a whole, so I'm gonna try to keep this as unemotional as possible. But let me get into this final segment. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. Look, I said my statement before. I don't think this is something that actually took place, but let's entertain the idea as if it did, right? This driver had no business treating the restaurant as it did. Obviously, there are going to be restaurant owners and useless people who choose to treat their people that way. And it doesn't matter that they're 50% reliant on the platform. They still think less of you and they're going to treat you like less than. But the fact that it reached this kind of smear campaign, right? Like, it became such a grand smear campaign. Like, there's a clear and obvious reason why they did not press charges yet, because there's no charges to press. Like, again, it's disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct is a Class B misdemeanor, but death threats are treated as a serious crime. It is a completely different charge. Like, they're not telling you that because that factual evidence is not there. Like, cops arrest people with evidence. They don't have any. The only thing they have is them just having it out with the person at the counter because they actually violated the contract. If anything is shown here is covering their own ass by putting it in the media that the driver's at fault. And you know what the worst part is that this is actually going to work. This is actually going to make the driver look worse than it already is. It doesn't matter if he's lying, because people are going to take that at face value. And am I saying that because they're like, I have this belief that there are no such thing as dangerous drivers? Oh, there are plenty of dangerous drivers out there. But at the same time, they don't make us think about it. They go to the police first. Like, there's a reason the security system didn't show what he claimed to show. And you know what's even worse than that? The driver's probably also going to get deactivated for that too. Like, it just takes one customer claim or one restaurant claim that, oh, woe weighs me, I am a poor widow restaurant and these naughty drivers are suddenly such a problem, and that driver is deactivated from the platform. You know how you protect yourself from that? Diversifying your gig portfolio on a financial level, having an exit strategy, having a body cam or a dash cam, because quite frankly, these restaurants can't be trusted on their own. There's so much defamation happening in the gig economy, it's disgusting. And quite frankly, I am tired of it as a whole. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe. Make sure to check out my website at drivenwyld.com to check out the services and the other platforms and information that I have there that is there to help gig workers. Also, if you want to stay in the know of what's actually happening in the gig economy today, make sure to check out my new channel, Gone Wyld Live Clips and Podcasts, where Bud Soda and I take the clips from our live streams we hold on Thursday nights at 9 and cut them down to short, digestible clips. And of course, check out my Patreon for exclusive content, full, raw, uncut live streams, and exclusive perks for gig workers such as yourself. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time. Rise up, shake off that 9-to-5 rust. In this wild world of hustle we trust. Break them all, leave them all in dust. Driven was the only wave of must.